This is the perfect RIA, in case you didn't know. Bringing you all the strategies to help your business grow. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Sit back and listen in while you feel the beat, yeah! Another myth bites the dust.
Hello, TPR Nation. This is Amber Kim from The Perfect REA. Thank you for joining me on today's Follow-Up Friday, where I'll be covering the highlights and action items from this week's episodes. On Monday's episode, Matt and Micah were about to head into an Invictus mastermind for our members, as well as a personal mastermind. One of the items that is always a part of every one of their masterminds is financial undressing. They found that by financial undressing, it opens up a state of vulnerability and transparency. They said you can see when someone believes something about their practice that isn't true. It's become the story that you told yourself that you truly believe. And that financial undressing is first and foremost to be honest with ourselves. It creates a level of connection and authenticity because people learn about the real numbers with you. And a benefit to this is that it helps you understand your client's vulnerability as well. But here's an important part of financial undressing. You can't just think of numbers in your head. They said this requires actually pulling up all of your information. Matt and Michael walked through what financial undressing really looks like, such as going through your gross revenue from the last quarter or the last year, and your AUM, your EBOC, and that's defined as what you're earning before owner's compensation. They said you also need to look at the number of households, number of accounts, the number of times you're seeing clients, also your fee schedule, what you think your fee schedule is, and then what it actually is. They said you also want to look at your 5 or 10-year goals, whatever's the farthest out vision that you have. And they said these can include things other than the financial part. So it could be legacy goals, goals for your kids, travel, or community. They said you want to look at office hours too, but you don't have to have a certain number of days in or out of the office. But you do need to be intentional about what you're trying to design. They said you need to look at demographics for your clients as well, so you can start identifying niches. If you're wanting to break into a certain niche, and if you look at numbers and realize that you don't have a connection to it, then you really should be setting aside 3 to 4 hours a day to learn from advisors who are in that niche. You also need to look at your personal development spend as well, but this isn't about the amount you're spending. They said it's about being intentional. Matt and Micah talked about how going through financial undressing is an uncomfortable thing to do. They don't like going through it at the time. They said it's difficult, but they like the outcome of it because people are asking important questions, and it forces you to take a deeper look at your numbers. And they said we've all got to have these numbers so that we can see where we're stuck. They said that financial undressing is about being intentional about your practice, your energy with your team, and with your family. They wrapped up Monday's episode with some important things to consider when moving forward with financial undressing, such as you can't really be honest and just do this with yourself. Because when you do, you'll justify the numbers that you have, and that the trick with financial undressing is finding someone with who you can do this with, and that it's critical you have this time to really be honest with someone, and that they can be honest with you. And of course, you have to be willing to be uncomfortable. Let's get into action items. You've got to write your numbers down. Start a spreadsheet and don't make it complicated. Matt recommended doing gross, net, AUM, average billing, number of days worked, gross revenue per day and per hour. You need to find a group of people that's in a mastermind setting. And they don't necessarily have to be in the same industry, but they need to be in the same mindset. Now, they said be careful with the people in that group if they're questioning your many goals. And look at where you're being uncomfortable, because when you're uncomfortable, that's when you'll get to the next level. On Wednesday, Matt was joined by Christine Timms, who previously ran a successful financial planning practice and then became a consultant. She used to work for a large wirehouse and grew her revenue from nothing by cold calling and referrals, and she feels she was also able to grow and serve more clients because of having assistants, and she went from having a team of 1 shared assistant to 6. Matt pointed out that people can get hung up on that delegation is only about productivity and getting rid of things that you don't like. But he said if you're delegating things that aren't your highest and best use, that it allows you to do more of the things you're best at and that you most enjoy. And then in turn, it makes your life better and creates a better client experience. Christine talked through the time, energy, and pain of growing her team, and she admitted she didn't get it right immediately. But it was through that experience that helped her finally create a structure that benefited everyone and ensured her clients knew who to talk to. Christine said that everything happened naturally when she was going to articulate this with her clients. She would include a team member in all of her client meetings and explain that this person would be able to take care of them should anything happen to her. She said this really helped establish credibility. So, because of all of this, Christine was able to write a handbook on team building for financial advisors. Her main mission behind writing her books was to pass on what she learned to help advisors be more efficient and so that they can increase their capacity. She also created a checklist to help analyze your business. And if you're nearing the end of your career, that checklist can be used to help your successor because it becomes a quantifiable list. This is also great if you're a younger advisor and you're looking to join a firm. It'll help you understand the expectations and help prevent misunderstandings. Let's get into action items. Make sure you're including someone else in your meetings, especially if you have an associate. It'll help save you time and give them credibility, along with giving that associate an understanding of what you do. Quantify what it is that your practice does, and then look at those things and see what you need to do and what things can be delegated. And to get Christine's book and learn more about her and her additional resources, visit christinetims.com. On Thursday, Jamie talked about negative feedback, how to respond, and what do you do when you receive criticism. Jamie said, we've created a culture where we're seeking to be the center of attention and receiving praise and positive feedback, and that we're addicted to making sure we're not missing out on anything. She said, we're so centered on the concept of getting praise and awards that we've forgotten how important criticism is. But Jamie said growing up, praise didn't teach her anything. She was raised to pursue excellence. She would be recognized for what she did, but then she had to think about how to be better. Her dad found it empowering to constantly challenge his kids. So instead of resting in the place of praise, they were pushed to think about what's next. She said, you're supposed to do a good job anyway. This is the bare minimum, and it isn't where you should be patting yourself on the back. Jamie said financial advisors are guilty of getting comfortable with where they are, and they don't try to achieve anything else in their personal and professional lives. So instead, you should be looking for opportunities to receive criticism. But she said there's a right and a wrong way to deliver criticism. When Jamie delivers this, it's not from malicious intent or judgment. She's motivated by other people's achievement towards success. Jamie values the people who can say that they think someone missed the mark because that means it's an opportunity to grow. She said you need to think about who are you when you're in your uninterrupted life, when there aren't obstacles or objections to your success. Who is that person and what do you have to do to serve that person? And that you need to surround yourself with people who want you to grow and want to see your success. So Jamie then went into a way to deliver criticism. She said you don't want to dance around topics and that it has to come from a place where you want someone to be better. It should be done in private and respectfully. Jamie will ask if someone is open to feedback, pushback, or criticism, and then she'll listen to see what their answer is because sometimes people aren't in the right headspace for this. If and when they say yes, it then becomes an open dialogue and they can discuss what does the end picture look like. And then they can back into all the things they need to do in order to hit those goals. And Jamie talked about the importance of goal setting. And she said she does a lot of goal setting with her family. She recommends that you start with tangible things and then go into values. But overall, it helps to make sure that you're all aligned. Jamie shared the idea that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. So you need to look at, are those people elevating you? If not, it might mean separating yourself from things that you've been a part of because they aren't helping you to get to where you want to go and grow. She said when you're around people who want to invest in you and your growth, those people will also call you out on your own BS. She said that being happy with where you are should only be a momentary feeling, and that sometimes we surround ourselves with people who are happy with where they are, and that's it. Jamie said praise doesn't serve you. You need to hear about all the things that you don't always want to hear. So look at who you're surrounding yourself with and who's in your network to push you to be your highest and best self. Let's get into action items. If you're a keyboard warrior, take a seat. Stop making those comments today. Instead, think about what you could do to be a positive change and do this in every aspect of your life. Take inventory and have a meeting with your family, your coworkers, and talk about where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years and look at your goals. Write down and ask yourself, Who are you when you're in your uninterrupted life? When there are no obstacles or objects or people telling you who you need to be on a daily basis? Reflect on that and think about how much you could change the world. That wraps up this week's recap. Thank you for joining me on today's Follow Up Friday. Be sure to give us 5 stars wherever you're enjoying this podcast and share this or any of our episodes with another advisor or a team member who you think might benefit from listening. And until next time, happy planning.
Hold on before we go. Something that you need to know. This isn't tax, legal, or investment advice. That isn't our intent. Information designed to change lives. Financial planning can make you thrive. Start today, don't think twice. Be a better husband, father, mother, and wife. The perfect RIA